Sal Pal Friday. Sal Paolantonio going to join us in just a bit. He had a sit-down with Doug Pederson today. I'm interested to see what kind of nuggets came out of the Doug Pederson conversation as his team is getting ready for the Seahawks team. You know, injuries has been the big story, really, regarding surrounding both these teams.
Yeah.
And
Dwayne Brown is out, by the way, according to the Seahawks.
Dwayne Brown out.
Out.
All right.
Michael Kendrick's
Iupati's
out.
the other guy to keep an eye on. So
He
we'll get
is
into that.
questionable.
All right. Big one.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a big injury there. Iupati, Brown, the whole left side, plus their center, Britt, out. We know the Eagles have their own injury problems. Let's get into it. Sal Pal Friday, Sal Paolantonio here on the Sports Bash. This season, the pregame starts at Dunkin'. DD Perks members score a $1 medium hot or iced coffee on Eagle game days. Head to Dunkin' for your kick before playoff kickoff. Excludes cold brew. Sal Pal Friday. Happy New Year, Sal.
Happy New Year to you, Mike Gill and Jeff Mosier. What's happening?
We are all set. Eagles playoff football. Who would have thought it, right? 3-4 weeks ago when we would have a Sal Pal Friday, it didn't look this way.
I just left NovaCare. I did an exclusive one-on-one, no-holds-bars interview with Doug Pederson coming to SportsCenter tonight and NFL Countdown on Sunday. People are going to want to check it out on my Instagram, Sal Pal ESPN. It's pretty good.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's pretty good. No subject off limits.
All right.
Pretty good.
So some of the subject that's off limits is typically the injury stuff. They got some big ones here, Sal. They've been fighting them. And, yeah, they've been getting guys stepping up. But some key guys this week, Zach Ertz, Lane Johnson. What do we know about the status of those two key players?
Well, I think Miles Sanders is going to play. I think Lane Johnson's a game-time decision. I think Zach Ertz will find out pretty quickly about Zach Ertz on Sunday. I'm sure that will leak out. I saw him coming out of NovaCare to the parking lot, and he had two big bags of ice he was carrying. Put him in his SUV. He was parked in the front row there at NovaCare. And I said, I see you Sunday. He said, yeah, I'll see you Sunday. Now, that is not an indication of whether he's going to play or not. And, you know, we're discouraged from interviewing players in the parking lot, so I didn't cross any boundaries there. But he looked pretty good. But I don't – you see – Michael, I don't think that injuries are a big deal in the playoffs unless it's your quarterback. Right? You know, NFL players, when they have this kind of motivation and they know what's on the line, they respond. So offensive lineman here, offensive lineman there, tight end here, tight end there. The Eagles have made do without Sanders, without Jordan Howard, quite well with Boston Scott. Unless your quarterback goes down, I don't think it's a major deal. I really don't.
Sal, you said I like how you called it a no-holds-barred interview with Doug. I'm curious if what you gleaned in your conversation about the offense that Doug has been running over the last 4 weeks and what kind of revelations it may have come up with it. Obviously, he's forced into running it because of the personnel that he has, but it's also been successful and it's made his quarterback play better than he was during that 3-game losing streak. What was Doug's viewpoint on that?
No, Jeff, you're exactly right. And Doug was very revealing about how the younger players who have a hunger and a desire and have had a connection instantaneously with Carson Wentz that has developed on the fly has been A, remarkable, B, very important to the success of this team. And the fact that they're younger and hungrier has been an important component of that. And so what does the offense look like? We've seen it, up-tempo. In fact, we talked about this on the show a couple of weeks ago, where it was pretty clear then that he really wanted to go as much up-tempo as he could, sprinkling in, keep the defense on its toes, 1, 2, prevent them, of course, from substituting, which is important. And then the screen game. The screen game has been huge with Boston Scott. Can't run screens with Jay Ajayi, and they really weren't able to do it with Jordan Howard.
In your personal opinion, Sal, do you think the Eagles would have been able to win these last 4 games and play as consistently as they have had Alshon and Nelson not also been hurt and not been able to play?
In my personal opinion,
yeah. If
no.
those guys are playing, would they have won 4 straight games?
No.
Let me ask you
Fascinating,
about,
isn't it? I mean, when you think about that, they had to get lesser talented in order to really find themselves.
Well, I
More
don't
harmony.
buy into that street guys, lesser talented guys. Alshon's big, and he is, obviously, you can just tell he has lost whatever speed he has. He wasn't a great quickness wide receiver, right? We know that.
Mm-hmm.
Nelson Aguilar had his limitations that were well documented before the Super Bowl that reared their ugly head after the Super Bowl. The drop passes. I mean, Greg Ward catches everything in his area code. Boston Scott has got nice quickness, gets open. Josh Perkins is a wide receiver playing tight end. So, they have found something for sure, but it's the hunger and the desire, Jeff. That's the biggest thing, no question.
Yeah, and, you've talked to Doug Pederson before, a lot of big games, Super Bowl. You've driven in the SUV with them on the way to playoff games. You see a different Doug this time? You see a guy that's, different than you've talked to in past years? Is he excited about going into this game a little shorthanded?
I don't think he feels like he's shorthanded. To get back to Jeff's point, Mike, I think he feels like he's got a group of guys who want to write their own story, beginning with number 11. He talks about that. He talks about how this team has transitioned from Foles team to Wentz team.
Yeah, which is always a big topic of conversation. This is his first game. We know that. He's going against Russell Wilson, who has won the Super Bowl and has been great. These two teams played 5 weeks ago. They're a lot different. But in that game, Sal, Jim Schwartz's defense kept them in that game. The offense was horrible that day. But do we feel confident that the defense will give that kind of effort again on Sunday? Do they have, they're definitely different at home. There's no question about that.
Different at home, giving up 16 points per game at home. In the Jim Schwartz, Doug Pederson era, the last 4 years, that leads the NFL points allowed at home, which is astounding. And people forget that. They are number one in points allowed at home in the last 4 years. So that's pretty good. They only gave up 17 points, 6 sacks of Russell Wilson. But here's the thing, Mike. We have just talked for, we're on the phone here for almost 8 minutes. And the bottom line of this game is the fact that Carson Wentz is 0-3 against the Seahawks. And in those games, he's got 11 turnovers, 5 picks, and 3 lost fumbles. 8 turnovers, 5 picks, and 3 lost fumbles. 8 turnovers in 3 losses. If he doesn't turn the ball over in this game, they will win the game. When he doesn't turn the ball over, they're 18-3. When he doesn't turn the ball over in his career, the Eagles are 18-3, 7-1 this year. He had 4 turnovers in Week 12. The team had 5. So to me, that's the key. Everything else is just window dressing because they have enough defense to win the game.
With that said, all right, we got Eagles, Seahawks. The Eagles kind of got hot 4 games in a row here. Seahawks are 1-3 in their last 4. So Sunday, how does it all go down?
Well, I just, I think they've been playing at a really high level, and I think, Carson's playing, to use the term that's overused, sort of lights out right now. I mean, he's seeing everything very clearly. He's making quick decisions. But, it is a wild card when you're in wild card weekend and you're playing the best road team in the NFL, in my view. 7-1 on the road this year.
Yeah.
And you've never beaten Russell Wilson. He's like Ricky Henderson in the batter's box. He's fouling off pitches. He's got a great view of the strike zone. He's a tough out because of that scramble drill with Tyler Lockett. He's moving the chains when you least expect it, and he is in the red zone. He is scoring, unless, of course, Pete Carroll screws it up.
Boy. Well, it should be fun.
I am going to pick the Eagles to win this game 24-20.
24-20 Eagles. Sal Pal Fridays here on the Sports Bash. When the Eagles win, you win at Dunkin'. DD Perks member score a $1 medium hot or iced coffee the day after every Eagles win. Eagles fans run on Dunkin', and it sounds like we're going to be getting a nice Dunkin' surprise on Monday. That would be nice.
All right. I'll see you guys. Thank you.
Sal Pal Fridays here on the Sports Bash.